Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply. In this video is to bring you a closer look at the ABH 2100. This is an electromagnetic door holder, is what it is. This is a recessed mount, meaning that it will fit inside of a recessed preparation in the wall. That would be a gang box, is what this would work into. Versus it being fully recessed, where there'd be very little projection of a faceplate on the face of the wall, or of course a surface mount unit. Recessed are very common. They're going to fit into a standard electrical gang box. And let's start with a visual tour of everything, and we'll put some dimensions as we go along. So first of all, this is the cast aluminum cover plate. This is going to be available, of course, in the common finishes. Your sprayed finishes, you know, brass, dark bronze, light bronze, of course, aluminum. You'll be able to do these in both satin and polished stainless steel as well. The dimensional properties of this item: 4 5/8 is the height, 2 3/4 is the width. It's going to have a projection of the body right at about 7/8. Okay. Now the business end, the magnet itself. It will attach through the faceplate, of course, down to your plate. The magnet goes onto your mounting box, your gang box. Then the plate will attach down to the flanges. This can be installed in either line voltage, 120 volt AC, 24 AC, 24 DC, and 12 DC. I'd like to get the camera to focus on that. No such luck. That one does a little bit better. So what they're showing you here is the wiring diagram is actually on here. So for 12 volt, you're going to have obviously the common, which is here. See a little bit better there. And then 12 volt here. That would be DC. You're going to have, and your negative wire in your DC applications is going to be, of course, your common. Uh, 24 AC or DC is going to be wired to the common and to the 24, but just the polarity of the wires, of course, will determine how that's going to, whether it's going to be AC or DC. And then you'll have the 120 volt and your common. Okay? Probably a better way to say that is your common is always going to be what would be a negative wire, and your 120 or your 12 or your 24 volt will always be a positive wire when there's polarity. Okay, so here's the magnet. You've got your diagram right below, and speaking of that, the installation instructions are below this video. They're also included, but I find the ones included with the product itself are dated 2013, at least currently. And the revised version uploaded to the site are dated 2015. They're a little bit clearer as far as I'm concerned. Give you an idea of just the dimensional properties of the item. Overall height, just so you have an idea, about 3 3/4. Overall depth of the unit, about 2 3/16. And then diameter of the magnet, about 1 5/8. Height on the back side, about 2 inch. Okay, so that's the magnet. Now you've got the door armature. That's the part that's going to go to the door, naturally. That's going to be your installation. They give you the dimensional properties of the door armature. The base that mounts onto the door is about 2 13/16. Armature diameter, about 2 inch. Overall projection as standard, the way it's set up right now, is about 1 5/8. You're going to get with this a single or one 1-inch extension. Okay, that is going to simply install between these two pieces. simply threaded. You can bring down this, and then to this. Okay. And it's important to know that you're going to have points of articulation on both pieces. Okay. You will get a wrench for tightening that down. That is one heck of a heavy-duty wrench. Okay. Okay. Now that 1-inch extension, speaking of the 1-inch extension, you are able to order lots of different potential extensions. The easy way to say this is you can get some single extensions, 1 inch, 1.5 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch, things like that. Then ABH can make anything you need. So they're going to take this exact concept and create a custom extension. And actually, I can raise that up a notch. This same client requested a couple of custom extensions. One is 6 inch. I did one for a client yesterday that was 16 inch. Everything was the same on it. This is what a 6-inch extension would look like. So you've got the same armature. You're going to have then this custom extension with this custom bracket, which obviously will take the place of this. So anything can be done. Now, the bottom line is, knowing that anything can be done is great. You have to determine what you need. Now, in order to do that, what you're faced with on the page 2 of the installation instructions, page 1 is important. The front view, top center of the page, gives you an idea of how it's all installed. Top view is also very important. The crucial thing to know from the top view drawing is 2 5/8 or 3 5/8. Okay, so that's just coming from 2 5/8 projection. Forgive me, trying to get this threaded back together. When you install this, you'll have a 2 5/8 projection from the wall to the inside of the door. If you add the 1-inch extension, you're at 3 5/8. In no case can the projection of your hardware exceed, I believe, 3 3/8. That's called out on page 2 somewhere. Just easy to search that. 3 5/8. I'm corrected. Total projection of door hardware must not be more than 3 5/8. And I think it should be well less than 3. 3.5. I wouldn't make it any greater than. You don't want any potential for conflict, damage anywhere. Meaning the door's closing and it's literally, that box has got to be secure inside the wall. You don't want, over years pushing the door on there and compromising the installation of your bracket. Now, the front view, page 1, installation instructions, the front view, the top view, that's all really important to know because it gives you an overview of what it's supposed to look like when it's installed. Page 2 is the nuts and bolts of how that all happens, and quite frankly, the only way to do it is to read the information. What they're basically saying in the upper right-hand corner of page 2 is dimension A you can determine, dimension B you can determine, and that's going to give you dimension C. The table down below will also give you what the degree of opening will be so that you know what that is prior to making any sort of preparation. So in the example that's given, if dimension A is 10 inch and you've got a 42 inch door, your dimension C is going to be 38 7/8. That's to the center line of the installation. That's crucial because it's going to be able to give you the proper mechanics of the geometry of the door and the position of the magnet on the wall so that you have the proper pound rating of holding force on the magnet. It will also give you the degree of opening, and in this case it's 99 degree. So you know that going into it. You can see from the table how the dimensions change based on a dimension changing in multiples of 2 inch. If you've got an odd number, split the difference, adjust accordingly for it. You don't want to have any sort of obtuse angle on your installation at all. You want it to meet at 90 degrees so that you have a full contact, providing the degree of pound rating that is called out, which we'll get to in a moment. The suggested vertical location is 5 inches from the top of the door. I would say that should be the top of the magnet. Okay. They talk about the door armature installation on the bottom of that page, and that's simple and straightforward. Really, what they want you to do is get the wall portion installed, get this put onto the wall portion, and then just simply bring your door up to it and mark the holes. And they give you the dimensions there that they're 1 3/4 center to center. Whether you're going to install them vertically or horizontally is unimportant. They give you a back set from the lock edge of the door at 2 5/8. That's going to be also very important because obviously that ties into the pound force based on where that hold open point is located on the width of the door. And it will also allow you to work correctly with the dimensions given in the above table. Through bolts are included to get the armature installed. You're going to want to through bolt that, obviously. You'll get a couple of machine screws for attaching the faceplate down to the body, or the magnet, I should say. Now, below this video is some extended description material. Let's go over it. 2 5/8 total projection from the face of the wall to the face of the door, or 3 5/8 if you're using the 1-inch extension. Tri-volt. You can install this any way you like. 120 or 24 VAC, or 24 or 12 VDC. Okay. This 1-inch extension is included. Optional extension rods fill the gap between the magnet and the door armature. No special adapter piece required. What they're saying is what we had talked about earlier. You can order these special, whatever you need. The reference to no special adapter piece required is a reference to the fact that ABH, unlike other manufacturers, does not require you to have an additional piece just to fit an adapter onto it. You just order the longer adapter. You don't have to order anything else that will adapt one piece to the next. All metal components, there are no plastic parts. Not everyone can certainly say that. UL and ULC rated for smoke and labeled fire doors, and that's really where these are going to be installed naturally. You're going to find these in hold open positions on fire rated doors where this is connected back to the fire alarm panel. I've had people install these as well in atypical installations where you have a client who simply wants to hold the door open until the door closer closes it. Why would you use something so heavy? Well, they've got a 100-pound dog who, with a tiny little magnetic holder on the door, always gets the door pushed closed. But when you're working with something that's going to give you 35-pound holding force, and that's a part that's part of the extended description, the solution for the client was therefore provided because we could sell them an electromagnetic holder with a much greater holding force. And as a matter of fact, you can do holding forces even higher than that in this sort of range. There are variants of electromagnetic door holders that are not electromagnetic door locks that you can have higher holding force. If you need help with that, reach out to us. Outlet box is required but not provided. Armature features 2 pivot points, with each having a 360-degree mobility to help door alignment and reduce installation time. Like we said earlier, these will articulate. Positive release button alleviates residual magnetism. That's a reference to the circuitry here. And the average weight of the unit is 2.5 pounds, they say. This actually weighs 2.05 pounds is the weight of this item. This is part and parcel of an entire line of door holders that they have from ABH. There is also a link below this video to the cut sheet, which will show the surface-mounted unit as well. They're 2300. So below here you've got installation instructions, you've got cut sheet, you're going to have the product data down below. Finally, there is a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the ABH products that we sell, but a link to the manufacturer's website, along with a link to the full product catalog. My suggestion about ABH is this. My summary about ABH is this. They have a relatively petite footprint when it comes to door hardware, relatively. But it's quite substantial in the sense that if you're looking for pivots, continuous hinges, electromagnetic door holders, and a variety of other specialty trim and auxiliary hardware, The name ABH is synonymous with excellent value, excellent prompt reliable shipping lead times, excellent customer service. They're a small, relatively small company, family owned and operated, that is not beholden to a multi-billion-dollar, national corporation controlling what they do and how they do it. The point I'm trying to make is this: they're light on their feet. They can make things happen. They can get stuff done. They have a program where they've got typical lead times, and most of everything from ABH is made to order, but they've got some things that they will put on a what they call a target list. That just basically means quick ship. And it's very likely that what you're going to need, if you're willing to absorb, if the stock published lead time does not suit your schedule, for a upcharge, they can basically get it done faster. There's a cost, obviously, in providing that sort of service. The point that makes ABH unique is that they're willing, and they publish the ability to help. They say it's going to cost a little more, but we'll get it done. But if you've got the lead time, then it's all good. That's all there is to it. Speaking of lead time, if you were to allow 1 to 2 weeks for pretty much everything, you'd be in real good shape. Rarely do things run longer. You might have a requirement for a special powder coating done on some pivots, and maybe the powder coat company that they farm out to is backlogged. Scenarios like that. So if there's any guesswork, if there's any concern, reach out to us initially so that we can divide that out of the equation prior to moving forward. I'm partial to ABH, as hopefully you can tell, and it's because they earn that consideration. If you have any questions on the ABH 2100 electromagnetic door holder or any other ABH product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.